I got a few responses to that. One is to try to make the plan as good as it can be initially. And the plan should, in theory, account for stuff like this. We all know dips and geopolitical events and unpredictable inflation and oil prices and whatever are going to happen. So try to structure your plan as best as possible to account for those things. And now by plan, notice I didn't just say structure your investments and didn't just say structure your insurance or whatever. The plan is all those things working cohesively. So what I do, I like to think it's a mix of sort of the best of all worlds. It's not just insurance. It's not just investments. It's not just real estate. It's kind of everything. Guaranteed lifetime income is important. Social Security is one of the best things people can have, last for life with inflation adjustments.
It's the best inflation annuity on the planet.
It really is. So maximize that and make the most out of that. It's definitely, a cornerstone of my process. If people have pensions, they're lucky enough to have traditional defined benefit pensions. Same thing. Let's get the most out of that, not just for you, but for your spouse if we're married.
Sure.
And then if you have annuities, if you have cash value life insurance, I don't just say shed them off, we'll invest. No, look at them. How can they be used? How can they be beneficial? And the analysis comes down to, my basic approach. Let's try to project out your expenses as best as we reasonably can. Now, there'll be a lot of, frankly, educated guessing because we're looking out 30 years into the future.
Sure.
But doesn't mean you don't have to do the exercise still. And try to figure out how much of those expenses are basic necessities versus fun stuff. And the underlying goal is cover as much of your basic necessities as possible with money that can't run out. Social Security, pension, and or annuity. If and when your basics are covered, then this is where it gets a little more gray and depends on the client. How sensitive are they to risks? Will they lose sleep if they see their portfolios go down? Are they gamblers at heart, on the other hand? Or do they have such a sizable nest egg that even under the worst of circumstances, they're not going to possibly be able to spend it down? That all helps decide, do we consider you buying more guaranteed income in the form of an annuity? Or are you okay with this remainder of your financial life being in an investable portfolio, traditional stock and bond type portfolio, layer in some cash as well, whether it's actual cash in banks or like multi-year guaranteed annuities or something.
Sure.
Factor all that in. So where I'm going with this is what you're referencing is the investable portfolio, right? Because if you have an annuity, if you have a Social Security, it doesn't matter what happens between Russia and Ukraine. It doesn't matter what oil prices are. Well, I mean, it does because of inflation, but your guaranteed income is there. Good. So it's just the investable pot that's impacted by this stuff. And in the analysis, in the plan, in meeting with clients to try to ferret out their risk tolerances, risk capacities, feelings towards risk, we set up the investable portfolio to have enough exposure to growth to meet whatever their goals may be it leaving a legacy, be it simply not running out, with not having so much risk that events like now, or what if the U.S. stock markets drop 30% like they did during COVID and don't bounce back anytime soon, aren't going to put them in a position of undue harm or real financial distress. And different clients have different tolerances for this stuff. Again, some at one extreme may want all of their income locked up in Social Security, pension, or annuities, in which case, great. That's the approach we'll take. Other clients are okay with this sort of hybrid approach of get the most you can from the lifetime income you have, and it's okay to invest the rest in a suitable portfolio.
Sure.
And then everywhere in between. So a long way of saying, in events like now, this was going to happen. I didn't specifically know Russia would invade Ukraine, but we knew some event would happen, especially the stock markets were long overdue for some sort of correction.
Hey, Stan the Annuity Man here. Did you like that little taste of my podcast, Fun with Annuities? Hey, if you want to see the full version, click the link and watch the whole darn thing. Remember, Fun with Annuities. Live in the reality, not the dream.